Hey folks, this is Owen here again with another battle report. This is a battle report from about 2 weeks ago that I've been trying to get loaded up, and I've given up on keynotes for a while, and I'm going to try and use something else. This game is High Elves versus Dark Elves, played against Elliot up in his house, 1600 points. So on my army list, I have a general who is a level 4 mage. He's high magic, Book of Hoeth, and Talisman of Protection. I have a BSB who is a noble with a Reaver Bow and the Shield of the Merworm, which is the 4 plus shield. Two units of 15 archers, 2 units of Viridian Reavers, each with a musician, a Great Eagle, 15 Phoenix Guard with full command, and 1 Pole Thrower and a Frost Phoenix. Moving on to the Dark Elves, and Elliot ran a Beastmaster on a Manticore, which is pretty fun for a change. Beastmaster and a Manticore. He has a BSB as a Death Hag, which is Brew, who will be in the unit of Witch Elves, which will give them an extra attack. Not that they need another attack, but that should be interesting if they get into combat with me. He's got 20 Blackguard of Nagarond. He's got 5 Dark Riders, 5 Doomfire Warlocks, a Charybdis, which is being proxied with the old Hydra model, but a wonderful, wonderful model. I do really like it. I actually might get one for myself. And a Reaper Ball Thrower. So the Dark Elf setup is like this. We play Dawn Attack, which is 1 for the left, 2 for the right, 3, 4, 5 in the centre, and 6 wherever you want. So Elliot got quite a lot of 2s, as you can see here. Witch Elves, Blackguard, Charybdis, and the both are all in the same space. The general is just there on the right hand side. I think he was put in the centre, so just put as close as he can to those guys. Uh, if we move over here to the right hand side, we have the Warlocks who are in white on top of a hill, and the Dark Riders are right beside them. The High Elf setup, and I pretty much rolled great and put it wherever I wanted. So I have my bow thrower on the left hand side. I have the Frost Phoenix in the centre there. He has always been falling off his base, very top heavy model, so I need to get a little another little stand to go in the front and maybe fix that up. So for the rest of the game, he's usually hanging out around his base rather than on it. Then I have my archers on either side of the Phoenix Guard, and the Eagle is just sitting there ready to block up a few lanes. And on the middle and the right, we have the Phoenix Guard, the other unit archers, and the 2 units of Reavers. So, turn 1 here for the Dark Elves, and Elliot pushes forward nice and aggressive. Charybdis comes forward, and so does the Manticore. We have the Witch Elves who who didn't need to restrain because they couldn't charge, so they walked into the forest. There's a few missing there, which they just fell off the moving tray, and there's no point putting them back on until he actually moves them across it. The Blackguard turn around a little bit, and that's pretty much it for that. The Warlocks and the Dark Riders move forward as well. Warlocks get in some nice range to cast those spells that they have, mainly that bloody bolt, which is exactly what happens to me right now. Warlocks cast a Doom Bolt. As far as I know, it was a 4 dice Doom Bolt. It was only level 2 though, because Elliot wanted to make sure he got it off. Okay, he did that because he got double 6, which meant that spell goes off. Killed only 6 guys, which wasn't too bad, but I think it was 6 hits, 6 wounds. He also took a miscast and took a wound from it. Failed as 4 plus war, so they're down to 4. So high off turn 1, I move all in with the Phoenix. Haven't actually used the Phoenix before, so said, well, might as well throw him in there and see what happens. Especially 2 monsters battling it out. Be interesting to see what either one will do to each other, you know. Eagle, don't really know what I'm doing with him. Threw him over there. Bad spot really, because the Witch Elves can easily get into him. I guess I was hoping to make them fail a few dangerous terrain tests, but at the chances of that, I mean, they'll go through the Eagle, and if I do flee, they go straight into the side of my Frost Phoenix. So that's not a very nice thing. I don't think I was really thinking that through with the Frost Phoenix. So we'll see if he'll hang out. Dark Riders are going to be getting shot at, but actually more than likely I'll shoot at the Warlocks because they are a bit of a problem. Magic phase, so I get Handed Glory off on the remainder of my archers on the right hand side, looking to take out those Warlocks. So Handed Glory plus 2 to my ballistic skill should have them hitting on 2s. Whether they wound and whether they kill now or not is a different story. The ward save is going to be tough. Going over to my high elf turn as well for Tempest, we cast on the guard. In the previous game, we played this wrong where when I hit it didn't scatter. So this time I rolled a hit and it did scatter, but it only scattered an inch, so I got rid of a couple of models. Always good to get rid of a few blackguard. Shooting then, and we took out a couple of these warlocks. Failed their 4+ ward save, and good news. Took a test, and they failed their panic test. Off they went. And to make it even better, my Reavers have a shot, and they kill one as well. So now he is rallying on a double 1. So hopefully we've seen the last of this guy. And there's just a side-on view of the table after the end of turn 1. I actually forgot to do the picture for the combat up the top there with the eagle, or sorry, the phoenix and Charybdis. Charybdis beats him by 1, takes off a wound, but I have a charge, so we draw and we stay where we are. Okay, start of our Dark Elf turn 2, and the Witch Elves declare a charge on the eagle, who flees, and they redirect into the side of the Frost Phoenix. It's exactly what I retrospectively seen, but I didn't see that in the game for some reason. So this is going to be a tough one for the Frost Phoenix, taking on Charybdis and a side charge from so many attacks from the Witch Elves. Apologies for the bad picture, by the way. General on the Manticore goes not into the bolt thrower, which I thought he was going to do, but into the side of the archers, which is probably worse, because once he gets through those guys, he's going to be going straight into the side of my Phoenix Guard. I think he'd only have to roll a 6 on 3d6 to get into the side, so there's a good chance that he's going to kill these and thunderstomp them all to death. Dark Riders on the right hand side then charge into the Iridian Reavers, who stand and shoot but fire and fail to hit. And then the rest of the movement is just the blackguards strolling up here, get themselves into some kind of combat or some kind of range for spell. And the sorceress does just that. She throws a hex, the word of pain, on the Frost Phoenix, and this is going to be bad because it's a boosted version of the spell, which means that not only is it ballistic skill and weapon skill, it's also going to be my strength and initiative that are down by 1. 1 usually wouldn't be too bad for a Frost Phoenix, but when you have to contend with so many attacks from these Witch Elves, it's going to be a big problem. I'm just going to have to hope his 5+ war save. Which it does, but he still breaks from combat, because I think he was tested on a 2 or a 3. So Frost Phoenix goes away from the large unit, which is the Witch Elves, and goes straight through the building and onto the other side. Elliot neglects to not pursue with Charybdis, but to leave him there so he can charge in the next turn, which means that the Wood Elves are kind of stuck where they are. They can't move anywhere, they're only an inch away, so they just kind of... down here where the general has his fun, has his wicked way with the rest of my guys. He kills a good few, thunderstomps a good few. They fail their test. They rolled, I think it was a 3 or a 4, and he rolled a 5. So just about catches them, but doesn't get enough to get into the side of Phoenix Guard, which is amazing, which is very lucky. So I have a chance to turn around and maybe fire some bows or fire some magic or something to get rid of this guy. And then up with the Dark Riders, who show how good they are on the charge with their +1 to their strength. Takes out 3 of my cavalry. We managed to get 2 back in return, which actually isn't too bad considering they have a 4+ armor save, and we're still wounded on 4s. But not good enough. We managed to hold though, so they'll be there for the next turn. Alright, so it's High Elf turn 2. Frost Phoenix, he rallies, so turn him around. Hopefully he'll be able to charge into either the Blackguard or the Bolt Thrower the next turn. It's a bad spot for him to be, really. Then I move the Reavers over to the right, just so I can get a charge in the flank of the Dark Riders, and then just move the Bowmen around so they can shoot a Charybdis, if he comes over close enough, of course. And the Phoenix Guard over so he can, hopefully, won't get charged in the side at least. Get more attacks on this guy when he comes in, and we'll get to shoot, hopefully. Shoot some magic. There we go, just a close up. Both disaster strikes, the Dark Riders destroy the last 2 Reavers, turn around and get ready to go straight into the side of my guys at the start of his turn. So, bad news for me, great news for Elliot. And that's exactly what happens here. Start of Dark Elf turn 3, and Dark Riders charge into the side of my archers. His general goes into the front of Phoenix Guard and pushes over just enough to have a little little touch off the old mage there, so he should be able to take him apart. Charybdis there declared a charge on my eagle, who fled again. Now he fled through the archers, and the archers were already in combat. Well, not combat, but they had just been charged, so they didn't need to take a test. I don't think they would have failed it anyway, having a battle standard and a general close by. But you never know. And the Blackguard move into the building, so nice vantage point for them to cast some stuff, and they shouldn't be pretty hard to get out of that building if I ever get the chance to go over to them. And that would be a picture of me in the Dark Elf turn, taking away the Frost Phoenix, who was shot by a bolt thrower and skewered. Disaster. But never mind. Frost Phoenix didn't do too much, but you know, it was pretty good for holding up Charybdis and a unit of Witch Elves, so. So, yeah, the Dark Riders. The Dark Riders killed one. They only killed one archer. We killed none of theirs. So they had a charge, a flank, and one death. Now, as far as I remember, I was steadfast, but I still rolled, I think it was a 10, and then I rolled, as you can see in the top corner there, an 11. So off they go. I think I rolled another 11 then, which that one is actually. So they go straight through, and they didn't catch me, but went into the side of the Phoenix Guard. So another disaster for the High Elves. And then the combat goes like this. I lose 5 guys, which is mainly due to the Thunderstomp, as far as I can remember. He directed, actually the Manticore, instead of having to direct it at the mage to get rid of him, which he probably should have done really, because I think you're better off getting rid of a level 4 mage rather than a few Phoenix Guard, because we'll still be stubborn steadfast anyway. But he gets rid of them. I think because 1 wound back, if we're lucky we do. The spell there is the Word of Pain again, and it's a 2, which means that it's a boosted Word of Pain with a 2, so our strength is only 2. So we're wounding this guy on loads, which isn't great. So High Elf turn 3, I had a picture for my movement phase, but it was very, very blurry, so I got rid of it. All that really happened was I rallied my archers, moved the reavers up a little bit towards his bolt thrower, hopefully get a charge off on that next turn. So in the magic phase, I get Fiery Convocation off on the Witch Elves, which pretty much negates most of the unit. Yeah, unbelievable stuff actually. And now he's only got a few models, 5 Witch Elves and a BSB left. The spell is great, but if it lasts for more than a turn, I'm going to be stuck, because I wouldn't mind casting this on the Blackguard, and if it's still in the Witch Elves, then I'm going to be stuck there. And going into the combat phase of my turn, we have a big turn of events actually. Manticore and his rider put all his attacks on my lore master, or not lore master, my mage, who has some wonderful saves. I think he had a 4+ ward save, which meant that nothing got through apart from a wound. So he did 1 wound on me. Dark Riders did no wounds on me. For return, we got 2, I think it's 1 or 2 wounds on the Manticore Rider. We got rid of a Dark Rider as well. So we won by 1, 2, 3, banner 6 minus, I think it's -1 or -1. So 1 by 5. So he was testing on a 3 for both of them, and they both ran. And off they go in this slightly blurry picture. But we didn't go to chase anybody, because we need to just stay where we are. I mean, the Blackguard are coming, Charybdis is coming. Charybdis passed panic test after the Manticore flew right through him. As far as I know, actually the rider has been killed as well. The rider was killed, Manticore is still alive. And the Dark Riders flew off to the right hand side. So Dark Elf turn 4. Charybdis does exactly what I thought he would do, and he charges straight into the front of the Phoenix Guard, who are proven to be quite the force in this game of having battles. They're great, fair play to them. Elliot turns his Witch Elves around, hopefully to move them across, hopefully to dispel that spell, I suppose, as well. Give him a chance. I'm actually hoping he dispels that Fiery Convocation, because if he does, that's going straight on the Blackguard in the next turn. And the Blackguard just move out of the building and get ready to charge into me on the next turn, or the next dark. So it went straight to the combat phase here for the Dark Elves. And Charybdis put all his attacks on the mage. And as you can see, there's a hell of a lot of 6s there. He did 4 wounds on my Charybdis from his 5 attacks. Almost got his 5th one for his strange extra 2d6 hits. Got 4 more wounds, and I have a mage who was only on a 5+ for a ward save, and rolled 4 6s. Wonderful stuff from him. Unfortunately, it wasn't wonderful enough because a thunderstorm from Charybdis stomped him straight into the ground. So the mage is gone, and my magic phase is in tatters. Very Convocation is still on the other ones until I gets dispelled, which it wasn't in this turn. So that's where we are. So High Elf turn 4. Nothing really happened in my movement phase at all actually, and Fiery Convocation just burns off the rest of the Witch Elves and leaves the Battle Standard Bearer on 1 wound. And in my combat phase, we kill Charybdis. We've no more spells in us, we've lots of attacks, so we managed to chop him up into little bits. And then we reform in my turn, and then accept a challenge from the Blackguard in Dark Elf 5th turn. His Dark Riders also go into my Eagle, who positioned himself over there to stop them from coming into the side in my last turn. So the Dark Elves in their magic phase got off Word of Pain again. As far as I remember, it was also the boosted version, but it was only D1. So we're down to strength 3. We're initiative. Our initiative is usually 6, so we're down to 5. But these guys are actually initiative 6, so they will go first, and it's probably not going to be very good for me here. The 3 guys you can see dead there, I'm pretty much sure they died from the miscast after they cast the large Word of Pain. So this is the start of my turn, and I missed a little photograph there. I think it was blurry and I had to delete it again. So I lost a couple of guys in the last turn. I put my Iridian Reavers, into the back of the guard. The sorcerer had declined the challenge, went to the back. So now we get a chance to kill her. That's just a picture of the last guy. The Manticore, who was shot and killed, and you can see in the corner there is also no Battle Standard Bearer, who got burned by the The Eagle does some great work here and gets rid of the 2 Dark Riders, which is very surprising. Very impressed with the Eagle. After all, it's fleeing around. And then in my turn, in my combat phase as well, these guys chopped me up. They minced through 4 of my guys. We only did we did 2 wounds in return, which is the 2 wounds we did to the sorceress. So we were testing on, I'm not sure what we were I think it was actually a push. I've got 2 banners. I did 2 wounds, that's 4 rear charge, 5, 6 and 1, 7. I think maybe he was steadfast actually, that's what it was. He was steadfast because he had a rank more than me. So we both held in for another. Just a little picture here of the Eagle, who is on 2 wounds now. Elliot shot him with his bolt thrower in Dark Elf turn 6 and got 2 wounds off him. One more wound and he would have been gone. So he's going to survive till the end. And the Dark Elf combat phase is a bit of a disaster for me. The rest of my Phoenix Guard have been wiped out. The 2 Reavers were also killed. They really did a number on me for only 3 in return. So as far as I know, this guy is testing on very low leadership. He fails, and instead of running away, the Battle Standard Bearer goes poof. So he's gone. His guys just stay where they are. They haven't really got much of a hope now because they've got a bolt thrower and a load of archers ready to shoot them in the face. Which is what happens in the final turn of the High Elves. No magic, no movement, just turn my guys around and blow them away. So the last guys are killed, and okay, that's it. So thanks for listening, and if you have any ideas of me or for me how I can kind of improve my bit of play or even add a different type of unit in to make things a little bit more interesting. I'm not really into the old uber gamer, killer, have to wipe people out stuff. Battles are more interested in me, and more interesting units as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battle, and we'll have another one up hopefully in a couple of days.